If your characters feel flat, chances are it's not your art style or the dialogue that's holding them back. It's their foundation. In this video, we're going to deep dive into the anatomy of a truly memorable manga character, or webtoon or comic or whatever you're making, and exactly how to fix the ones that don't hit. And we're going to start with the anatomy of a memorable manga character. So it's true that great stories live or die by their characters. If you don't believe me, Hirohiko Araki thinks the same thing. Readers won't stick around for your plot twists or fight scenes or any of that if they don't care about the people who are at the heart of it. So why do some characters grab attention instantly while others fall flat, even if the designs are cool? I think it starts with the core idea behind the character. A strong character concept isn't just, oh, he's edgy, or oh, she's strong. It's a mixture of identity and motivation and emotion, and it's how they carry themselves before they say a single word at all. Design plays into this heavily. Things like posture and clothing and the silhouette of the character all help sell a character's vibe instantly. In my manga Ye Olde Treehouse, Rue, the captain of the regulation, is a perfect example. At least I think it's a perfect example. From the moment that you see her, you know exactly what kind of energy that she brings. She's bubbly, she's quirky, high energy, and extremely unpredictable. She does this weird little thing with her hands, with her index finger and her pinky. You basically understand her before you even see her in the comic. But the part that really sticks beyond the visuals, because I know that there's so much talk about the visuals, the part that really hooks a reader and keeps them invested is actually their backstory, the deeper parts of the character. Backstories are not just filler lore, it's the context to everything that character is. It's the weight behind every single choice that the character makes. And if you're making a character-driven story, this is super important. When a reader can understand what your character has been through, they start to feel it with them. And when that happens, suddenly, your story has stakes. A flat character is often one who's reacting to the plot rather than being driven by something deeper or driving the plot themselves. Motivation for a character is absolutely everything. What does your character want? And what sorts of things are they afraid of? What drives them? Strong characters are usually built on strong contradictions. They say they want one thing, but they act like they want another. For example, Rue is the captain of an elite squad, but she's completely not ready for the job and probably doesn't even want the job. That's a pretty strong contradiction for that character. Compelling characters make decisions that hurt them because they can't help it. That's human, and that's what readers connect to. Internal conflicts like insecurity, imposter syndrome, guilt, or anger, those give the characters emotional depth. And then you have external conflicts like rivalries and enemies or greater systems that your characters are trapped in. That puts that depth to the test. That's where the character growth happens, and that's where character arcs are born. So with backstories, my character Solomon Vex, he's entirely driven by the mystery of his own past. He wakes up one day in a place called Laytowood with no memory of how he got there. The absence of family, origin, or identity, those things drive him to travel across the world of Viso in search for answers to who he really is. His backstory is his motivation, and every decision that he makes is a step closer to unlocking who he truly is. Now, let's talk about dialogue, because yes, that might also be why your characters feel flat, and in my personal opinion, it's the one area that I see the most, issues with when I read other works. If all of your characters speak the same way, with the exact same tone and the exact same rhythm, they're all going to blend together. They're all going to sound the same in your head when you're reading. But when each one speaks like an actual person that has quirks and emotions and subtext, they actually start to feel real. Dialogue builds the character just as much as action, and I would argue even more so. Sharp one-liners or hesitant pauses, brutal confessions. All of those moments tell who your character is and what they're going through. One moment that defines Rue as a character comes when she sees Vex's younger self engulfed in flames during an illusion of his past. Vex tells her, "Don't touch me. I'm probably like burning hot. But Rue snaps back. She says, I don't care how hot you are. No one deserves to start life like that. She doesn't care about the danger. She doesn't hesitate to go help him. All she sees is someone whose life started in agony, and her first instinct is to reach out. That one line shows Rue's protective streak, her heart, and just how deeply she feels things. I think it's a perfect character beat wrapped into one sharp sentence. The thing about dialogue, though, it's not just about having a sharp one-liner or sounding cool. It really also needs to move the plot forward or deepen some kind of emotional tension. If a scene can happen the same way without the dialogue, then cut it. But if it makes the reader feel something, then keep it. But we're talking about manga. We're talking about comics, right? So it's a visual medium, visual storytelling. Flat characters often come from similarly flat visuals, where the body language doesn't really match the emotion, or where every panel is staged in exactly the same way. You don't want to do that. You want variety. You want intentionality. Facial expressions and posture and eye placement, all of those things reveal your character's mindset. A slouched stance versus an upright one says everything without you having to put any words on the page at all. In fact, the more specific you are with your visuals, the more the character will come to life on the page. So similarly, from chapter 14 in Ye Olde Treehouse, Rue and Vex are watching his past self play out right before their eyes, and Vex explains exactly what they're seeing. And rather than writing dialogue for Rue in this moment, I decided it would be more powerful for her to stay silent, but her expressions say everything. Pain and empathy and disbelief. You know, the paneling kind of slows down. There's a lot less panels on the page. I focus on the eyes. You know, the moment of the quiet visual storytelling really speaks, and it hits a bit harder because it trusts that the reader will feel what you're trying to convey through these characters. If your characters are feeling flat, don't panic. It's not about rewriting everything or changing all your characters. It's about just digging a little bit deeper into the core of what that character is. And I think you should think of your character as a person, a real person. Ask yourself, why are they that way? Make sure that the voice that you write and their visuals and their backstories all speak to why they're that way. Because when a character feels real, readers will really feel that they're real too. And I think that's the secret sauce to making something addicting and unforgettable and amazing. So if you enjoyed this breakdown and you want to see how I use all of these principles, then you should check out Ye Olde Treehouse. It's a fantasy adventure filled with found family, trust, lies, high-stakes missions, all wrapped up in a chaotic and eclectic circus. If you like fairy tale or One Piece or Black Clover, then I think you're gonna like Ye Olde Treehouse. And if you want to go behind the scenes and see how I make the characters, how I do concept art, or if you want to get early access to new chapters, then consider supporting me on Patreon. I appreciate it so much, and you'll be helping me bring this world to life. Links are below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.